Oh, for God's sake, did I just have this off that whole time? How long did that go? 2 minutes? Oh, good Lord. I'm sorry, guys. Uh, I was explaining why I wasn't here on the weekend. Doesn't matter. Um, was watching a lot of this Ukrainian war footage, which is just funking ridiculous. uh, watching the factions in this company in this country sort of go after each other, right? Excuse me. Mm. People want to control what is taught in schools, but at the end of the day, parents never control what's taught in school because every parent will have a different opinion. So in one small district, people are trying to get elected off of this group of parents who are trying to dictate uh, in what sounds like fairly subtle racist terms, which is always a thing now, versus those blatant racial terms of what can be taught to children about race in America. One of the major fault lines in American, you're going to let just one group of parents veto it, and this is what the problem is. Nothing gets done because everybody likes to play these games for power while the nation stagnates, and here we are. Uh, what are you going to teach the kids? Hmm? It didn't happen. I don't know. Excuse me. I had a coughing fit earlier. What a day. Gas prices are ridiculous, man. I had a story. The talks in Ukraine war pauses as Russia offensive intensifies. Wow. And then there's this. Anti-war protester interrupts Russian nightly newscast. He's about to do 30 years in a Russian gulag. He back there with a sign saying that they're lying to you, right? So God only knows what they're telling the Russians. Uh, hey, William, good to see you. Yeah, I was AWOL. Yeah. All right. So I owe an explanation. I'll go over it again because I started the broadcast and the first 2 minutes are silent because you know. All right. So I had a family event that sort of came up out of nowhere. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I really do. I really appreciate that. I had a family event that came up out of nowhere, and I thought I'd be able to do it and then come back and do a 7 o'clock show. And then it went longer. It was with a family member. Then it went longer than I expected. And then I was like, God dang it, because I got home about 8. I want to say 8:30, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do a show. Um, then the corresponding night lasted a little longer than we wanted to. Still not drinking, so I wasn't hungover or anything. Lasted longer than I wanted to, and then I ended up just kind of like sleeping through the day. And the daylight saving time was Thursday, Sunday, and I totally missed that. You push it ahead one, spring ahead, fall back, right? Right, yeah. So we sprung ahead 1 hour. So yeah, I totally. There was a weird kerflunkle there where I was like, oh my god, it's 11 o'clock, and I think that was part of the. And I was like, should I get on? Should I do a 12 o'clock? Maybe I'll do a 6 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? Just take the weekend off. You haven't taken the weekend off in I want to say almost. I can't say a year. Good lord, when was the last time I took a weekend off? I can't even tell you. We just started taking Mondays and Thursdays off. And we ran pretty steadily until the apocalypse, which was Veterans Day or Memorial Day. One of the I forget. So anyway, then I was just kind of I just took the weekend off. And I was like, and I came back fresh and I'm ready to hold on. Let me raise my chair. I'm ready to drop some science on the business of the world, man. I'm ready. Uh, but you know, the same old thing is happening, right? We ran into this a couple of times when you we discussed what's big in the news, and that what's big in the news is essentially more of the same, right? And a lot of it will be video. Another thing is happening on YouTube, though. YouTube is sort of striking political content by their statute, but now you know they're wiping out journalist stuff. So I think the only reason I'm safe is because no one even knows I'm here, kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's weird. I think there's a weird clampdown on what would you call it? Free media, new media versus old media or legacy media, right? The guys who are billionaires who have all the satellites and giant jets and all this good shit. They don't like the fact that we can contest what they're telling people, and we can do so by the millions, right? And in very many forms, podcasts, right, skits, uh, it goes on and on. So it's the it's the democratization of speech, quite frankly, and they don't like that. They like to talk about it as they hold the microphone. And when you come, yeah, I would like to talk about it. It's like, get out, give it. But now that you can go, the hell with you guys, I'm over here with my own camera and my own microphone talking to whoever. They have an issue with that because people are catching fire. This is why they so heavily ran after Joe Rogan and why Joe Rogan is all of a sudden quiet, right? I don't hear a lot from him on YouTube, and I'm a subscriber. I haven't gotten a notification or anything in a while. So yeah, they'll just delete. Look, I once read a story about when I must have been 15. So this is a good long while ago, and it was a science fiction story, and it was a futuristic society, and this guy um, who always did exactly what he was told, right? Uh, there was a glitch in the system, and they had no money. Everybody had like a card, and it identified you. And if you didn't have this card, you couldn't, nobody could give you any money. Nobody will give you housing, right? And through some random event, he got deleted out of like the society system. Eventually get thrown out of his house. His woman couldn't deal with him because he didn't have a like this thing that everybody had. And then she leaves him. His job couldn't employ him. He gets fired. He's out on the street. No one will give him food, right? He ends up living in the shelter, eating out of the living in an alley, eating out of the trash, right? I forgot how the story ends, but that always, I always was like, this is why you need cash. And then all of a sudden, in this modern world of like internet banking and cryptocurrencies and all this, uh, d- uh, all I think about is as soon as the government goes, we're going to do away with coins and money, and everyone will have this account, just like cars. The idea that you have a car that drives itself that can be hijacked and driven into off a cliff or into a train, or driven to, if you're a political dissident, driven to the nearest police station so they can disappear you. All of these things flow through my head, and people who say that would never happen are ridiculous, right? Like the people who say war in America would never happen, I point out that there have been two here, right? Two official ones. We're not even talking about the Whiskey Rebellion, right? And all these slave uprisings and George Washington had to hang a couple of motherfuckers to get it done, right? Been murdering each other for 240 years. What are you talking about? Uh, People thought it was over in Europe. Europe's on fire now. Well, not all of it, but this is look. If Russia asks China, but if China comes in to help, right? And one of those little NATO countries goes, "We're going to help the Ukraine." That means NATO has to get into it, which means that America has to get into it. So it's America. Oh man, oh, whew, it gets stinky. And Russia, like Sarah Palin famously said, I could see it from my house, and everybody laughed at her. Like she was talking about she could reach out and touch their shingles or some shit. Right. At the end of the day, it's 80 miles away. Right. You can't see Cuba either, but essentially, Cuba's in our backyard too. Cuba is, you know what? How far is Cuba? Let's make sure we're right on our numbers. Far away from Cuba is America. Oh, that's a weird way to write this phrase that. 20 knots. All right. Let's see if I remember my knots. 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers is 17 miles, 18 miles, 15 miles. All right. Where's my phone? How many miles is 20.9 kilometers?
20.9 kilometers is 12.99 miles.
Is that really right? It can't be that close. It can't be 12 miles. It can't be 12 miles because we don't own it. Excuse me. Maybe that's knots. The Florida Keys are a stretch island, one Florida Keys, and coastal, closest to Cuba at 90 nautical miles. How many miles is 90 nautical miles?
It's 103.57 miles.
Okay, good. I was right. It's not 12 fucking miles. It's 103 miles, right? Now, how ooh, how far is Canada from Alaska? I'm sorry. How far is America from Russia? What? Hold it. How far is Alaska from Russia?
I'm not sure exactly how far it is from Moscow, Russia to Juneau by car, but it's about 4,559 miles as the crow flies.
Juneau, Alaska from Moscow, Russia. That's from the capital of this, right? So that's 103 miles. Closest. There are two small islands of Bering Straits, Biodomes and Little Domes, that are just 2.4 miles away from each other. The closest geographical point between the borders of US and Russia lie between the Bering Straits, located in the Pacific. There are two small islands. So one of the small islands is theirs and one is ours. Is that what the deal here is? That's pretty fucking hysterical. I'm sorry. That's pretty hysterical. When was this written? December 12th, 2016. Yeah. All right. Let's bring this picture up just so everybody knows exactly how far away everyone is from everyone. Dude. All right, let's go here. Ignore the mess in the back room. Uh so this is what we're looking at. Let's see if we can make this bigger. Do. So this is America, this is Russia. This is the Bering Straits, right? So we're not far away. I'm pretty sure. Look at the Bering Straits. Look how far we are up. So the first thing that's going to happen is people going to get all paranoid on this end and watch fly zones and all this stuff. Um, but 100, it's 20 knots. All right. What is this on? Let's stop this and dismiss this. So Miami to Cuba is 330 miles. I just said 103 miles. What did I just read? Oh no, I'm sorry, Miami. You said I'm thinking of the very. I once drove from to Key West, so I'm thinking of like the tip of Key West. If you were standing on the lowest part of America, they were talking. I thought something said 12 miles. That would be crazy. We would have taken it a long time ago, and Russia wouldn't have done anything. It's 12 miles is within your 20-mile limit. which means everything is that country's whatever, right? Any is it 50 miles now? God only knows. All the government people who run giant, vast operations know this. It's just interesting knowledge for me, but you know how it is. But yeah, Miami is a little further up the what do they call Florida? The penis of America. uh, yeah, man. So they're bombing hospitals and wiping out little old ladies. Oof. And now they want China to come in, and they already bombed a military base and said, "We'll shoot down your military support weapon." Right, man. This is gonna get really funky. But here's the thing: I said it before on this podcast, long before this started. The Russian military can't fuck with the American military. It cannot, and this whole thing is showing that, right? But this is why the only thing they can do is threaten nuclear Armageddon. Ooh, why? Why? Why they gonna increase? We're gonna talk about that in a second. Let's finish talking about the Ukraine. Um, ugh, this thing. All I'm saying is this thing can get out of hand fast. That's all I'm saying, right? Is all I'm saying. This thing can get out of hand fast. You have Americans going over there. One, an American already died over there. A reporter. You have Americans going over there to fight. Which one? What? When they catch you, they're gonna make the worst example out of you. People are gonna disappear in that place. People. Americans love a war. This one isn't even yours. And there's a famous racist brigade they have over there too that they're giving weapons to. And people are like, what? So you better know who all the players are. And I hope people who are going over there know who all the players are. Uh, I know one guy over there fighting. He's wanted here for a double murder of two. He's a military guy. He's wanted. We read about. We talked about him. He's wanted over here for double murder of two military people who had started their business, a husband and wife who had started a business, and he gunned them down and murdered them for 3 grand, so he could go to South Africa and fight with somebody or some such shit, right? Or it's Chechnya, and something happened there, and then he ended up in Chechnya because he can't come back here. And everybody, like the government wants him. As soon as he lands there, he's gonna do military time. It might be. And since he skipped, he's gonna get the death penalty. So he's hoping to fight there and either die there or have them go, wow, you're an amazing hero. You can live free here in the Ukraine, but that's not gonna happen because Americans gave you all that shit, right, and help you stave off the Russians. So when the all is said and done and the dust settles, Americans are gonna go, we want him, and they're gonna go hand him over, right? He's not, and and he's there to, he's gonna be back here in cuffs, talking about whatever, because that's exactly the way it's gonna work. I see no other way how it doesn't work. And if he dies there, good. You know, we close the books on it. So and so died fighting in the, what are we calling this? An invasion, fighting in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, right? Um, it is what it is, baby. But all those guys going over there, oh boy, boy. Once you get over there, you can't get out. You're committed for the whole war, for freezies, for oopsie daisies. It doesn't make any sense. At least here, you're fighting for your nation, and God forbid anything happens to your nation, will take care of you and protect you and look after you. And we do that, right? I don't know. An enormous blob deep beneath Africa is slowly rising, scientists discover. What? Wait, hold on. We gotta. Oh man, we gotta find this. We gotta find this article. We gotta find this article. All you have to do is write an enormous blob is, and then you get the god dang it. All right, we're we're gonna read this together. Major League Baseball is pros base. Why? Before we even start the story, if you're there, William, I hope you're there. Uh, why? What's the reasoning for basic? You know what? Why don't we just look it up? What's the reasoning for the reasoning for base size increase? What's the reasoning for base size increase? First and foremost, Major League Baseball believes making the bases bigger will lead to less injuries on the base paths. It's a logical argument. True, but they've had it that way forever. Is this maybe people are sliding differently now and making it worse, right? I mean, things are up and down. Nothing is cyclical, right? Um, but if it's like this always, and all of a sudden there's more injuries, maybe that's what it is. And just because you make it bigger doesn't mean you'll make it any safer. I don't know. That's weird. It's a logical argument. The bigger the bases, the more space runners will have to slide around defenders. Yeah, but the defenders put themselves in front of sliders. That's the way that people get hurt. How about yard by a yard? What does that mean? How about yard by a yard? That's weird. Because even if you make it bigger by 3 inches, somebody sliding in, I'm still going to catch the ball and stand directly in front of you, and you're still going to get hurt. Oh, that doesn't make any sense to me. That just sounds stupid. I don't understand that. Um, let's read about this enormous blob. This is I love when they tell you how many minutes it takes to read it. It says 3 minutes. What is this? Ukrainian soldiers? Yeah, the citizens are not going for it. I love it. This is not the 70s and the 60s, right? All these people grew up essentially Western style. Um, yeah, you can kill this journalist or that so and so, or grab this mayor, but the whole city, I mean, you're gonna have an Iraq on your hands. The whole place is gonna be in an uproar. You're gonna have to move everybody around in tanks. You know what I'm saying? Deep beneath the Earth's surface and on the opposite side of the planet sits two enormous blob-like structures spanning thousands of miles, and one of them beneath Africa is slowly creeping up towards the surface. Scientists first spotted the thousands of miles. Scientists first spotted the two giant structures via seismic observation. These anomalies sit in the lowermost mantle between 4 and 1600 miles below the Earth's surface above the outer core. One blob is beneath one blob is beneath the Pacific Ocean while the other is under Africa. They are known as low shear velocity provinces and are known to influence the process at the core as well as the mantle. The blob is thought to be incredibly dense. Thermochem- quote unquote thermochemical piles composed of recycled oceanic crust or iron-rich materials. Okay, guys, seriously, get to the fucking meat of this thing. Researchers from Arizona's bled but understand that find Quenying, Mingling, Qin Yuan and Ming Ming Li, Qin Yang and Ming Ming Li, performed seismic analysis running hundreds of matter convections simulations. Results show that the two blobs differ in terms of density, with the African LLSVP appearing to be far less dense and as a result less stable than its Pacific counterpart. What does this mean for the world, dude? The blob in Africa sits about 620 miles higher than the Pacific. Okay, so one is the blob has maintained a height of about 990 to 1100 miles. So that is a 20. So it sits hovering in a 20-mile station under the Earth's mantle by 400 miles. Okay, with the Pacific anomaly between 430 and 500 miles high. The difference in height and density said, okay, okay, the previous been linked to okay. What does this mean for the world? It may still need a few million years to reach the surface. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. You people are freaking, you make me crazy. You just make me crazy. Giant comet coming right at you. Oh my God, when it's going to be here? In about 1,000 million years. Man, why am I even talking to you people? Um, oy. So I think I am going to have a burrito. Oh, my sweet Lord. Oh, January, February, March. Okay, the end of March is the end of the first quarter. We have 3 weeks for that. What's today's date? Oh no, we have 2 weeks for that because it's the 14th. Completely in dead center in the middle of the week. I need to get my act together. Oh my gosh. And I gotta go to a wedding. Oh, Jesus, Christmas. Whew. Part of the problem with trying to maintain a sense of uniqueness in a world of sameness is that some of your unique traits become problematic for yourself. And I used to, when I was on time and I wore a watch, I used to never be late. I used to keep a diary, used to be on point, used to, now I'm just I feel like a drunken mess. I feel like Gilligan, right? Without someone around to smack me in the head with his hat. Armor from Rush Movie says Baldwin was at fault for not calling her in to check the gun. Yeah, she's got to say something. I think everybody thinks that while this is bad for Baldwin's career, um, that's about it. Quite frankly, that's about it. Uh, I don't see how this is Baldwin's fault. I don't see how this is Baldwin's fault. I don't. She's the armorer. She has final authority over all guns. She makes it seem like he walked into the armor trailer, took a gun off the rack, and went to the set. Who brought this gun to the set? And last we checked this story, there were two dudes that were on set that they wanted to talk to who disappeared. And I'm like, where'd those guys go? Did we ever find out what happened to those guys? Who they were? Why they left? This is what I mean by not following the story. All 24-hour news cycle, but no one follows the story and finishes it up. All these investigations that you hear about, then they just drop them. The police have, oh, we're gonna launch an investigation. Do you never hear what happened? They just wait for it to blow over. This is another reason why all these people are going after new media, people who make an impact, right? Because I'm sitting up here like, come on, man, that doesn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden, if you would like, hey, I'm gonna tweet out a clip of what he's showing, what he said, and all of a sudden it's trending and everybody likes me, and I'm sitting here going, whoever you got as an elected official is awesome. Within a year or two, I'll end up with a show on MSNBC or CNN or Fox or whoever I'm talking about, right? But if I go, they all suck and they all are evil, all my shit will get banned and stricken down. And that's what it's beginning to look like. Sweet Jesus. Mm. Altoids, man. This is what you want to do. Back in my old Tok days. Just take a breath mint. Clear up your sinuses, right? First of all, we just do a ritual. You wash your hands, you wash your face. You roll the joint. You blow your nose. Sorry. Blow your nose, hot tea, get uncongested, right? Blow your then you have a mint, which really brightens the, or like a peppermint or wintergreen mint. Then you take a hit. Bam! Then you listen to Bob Marley and you talk shit about the film you were going to make one day. And that was what it was to be a young man in the late 80s, mid 90s. I don't even know when. Yeah. All right, Jesse William writes in the chat. Jesse was out of jail now. Yeah, baby, you've got 6 months. It's not going to be awesome. Um, he only got 6 months. He's lucky, right? He really is lucky. 6 months. I mean, it's a lot of time. I wouldn't enjoy it either. Uh, but I think he could have got years. Uh, do we even want to look? I mean, I hate to revel in other people's misery. Jesse Smollett's team demands his release. Stat, citing COVID threats. Citing threats and COVID. It's jail. You're gonna get threats. In psych ward at Cook County Jail. You know what? Who's got time for this bullshit? How old is he? 40? Yeah. I mean, come on, man. If you were 19, 20, I'd be like, who does goofy nonsense like this, right? But you're 40 years old. That's just Bubba. Why is Bubba Wallace trending? Another guy who took this is what I mean about like you have a race incident, all this money comes in, now you own your own race car. That's why nobody marches. It's so cynical. It's so cynical, right? Now the whole thing with taking your eye off the ball, the whole thing with Kaepernick now, it's about him and the NFL getting back in the NFL. When the whole thing started, it was a deeper issue, right? And now it's a conversation. But he's not getting back in like Pete Rose is not getting back into the Hall of Fame, right? It's that. Is Pete Rose still even alive? He is still alive. How old is freaking Pete Rose? 80. God bless you, Pete. Um, why is he trending? Bubba Wallace was furious with his performance Sunday. Bubba Wallace goes ballistic with F-bomb lace outbursts at Phoenix. How did Bubba Wallace Jr. perform at NASCAR? Bubba Wallace shares a message before Sunday's race. So he lost and he cursed it out and it made all the news. But he raised all this money to buy his own NASCAR team. And you don't even win? Shut up. Um, yeah, I don't think he's getting out of jail. But again, I would see why they would let him out. It is a pandemic. But again, I will see why they wouldn't, right? But yeah, jail is supposed to be an inconvenience. And other people have to sit in there and deal with COVID who broke the law. Why should you not? And on top of this, it looks like favoritism, young millionaire who doesn't want to go and who can hire all these lawyers who throw all this. No, sit your ass in jail. It's 5 months. Learn to fight or learn to take a punch. One of the two. It sounds cold and callous, and I don't mean it to be, but it seems sort of. Do you let him out? I mean, what he did was sort of. I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't think he could have got years. I don't think 5 months, 150 days, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 5 months is I don't know. I don't know. This is one of those judge calls that I really don't have a problem with. And at the same time, I could see if somebody were going to be lenient, but I could also see if somebody uh, would have been harsher. And I'm critical of judges, but this one seems, woof, I don't even know what to make. This one seems room for improvement as well as room for um less improvement. That's the wrong. It This one seems like it has room to go either way. You could have been harsher, or you could have been lighter. I guess I'm saying that I think the judge knocked it right out of the park. It's a really good call. Now he just doesn't want to do the time. Um, yeah, I think the judge. You don't hear me. Maybe I should shout out more judges. I think this judge, this decision um was perfect. Yeah. All right. He screamed he was not guilty and not suicidal. Well, he is guilty. Maybe it's opposite day. So does that mean he is guilty and he is suicidal? Because we all know him to be guilty. So that means, is this one of those things where one always says yes and the other always says no, and you have to ask the right question? Remember that door in that David Bowie movie? Um, yeah, this seems like that. Oh, really? Oh, the man wants to kill. Put him in the psych ward. He's crazy. Why does anybody want to kill like a B-rated actor in a swashy nighttime soap opera? What does he know? Is it if I mean is he being sent to jail because he somebody wrote a book? I don't know. I can't even spin this because the whole idea of it is ridiculous. Um, he ends up like Epstein. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. Uh, I think he grew up in this. I don't want to like in this privileged environment, right? Child star, Hollywood, Disney, all that shit. I wonder how many fights he had that wasn't with his siblings, right? And I'm pretty sure he didn't have one anywhere past like 12. And now you're 40, and you're either gonna have to blend into the woodwork, comply with some bullshit, or stand and fight. I don't know what the drama is. I don't know. We all make our own decisions. All right. Oof. Do we have other topics on the table? Behind who? First of all, why is he running again? He's not running again. But he opted out so he didn't get impeached in office. Oh, she's horrible. But the way the democratic system works is whoever's there, they'll support. And she's there now, so they're going to support her. And her numbers aren't horrible from what I understand. But I mean, I wonder who the Republicans never have anybody good in New York. So I wonder who they're going to put up. Good Lord, I'm eating these mints like they're candy. I should probably not be doing that. Let's close this. Hold on. All right. All right. Parents speak out after son dies from accidental fall on spring break. Parents speak out after son dies from accidental fall on spring break in Mexico. "Quote unquote" is completely senseless. This is what happens. People go away, and in that group, someone always gets hurt. And in that giant group, a spring breaker, someone always dies. It's never someone you know. It may not make the news in your town, but it'll be some small town. It's always someplace different. And if you reside in that town, there will always be someone who comes to visit your town and dies there. So and so John at Coney Island Beach, they were visiting from Virginia, Minnesota, da 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 da. Or down here, somebody, you know, went up to New York and was hit by a taxi, right? It's just around robbiness of it, especially when there's alcohol involved in young people. And sometimes people just take the wrong step and bam. Tim Tebow opens up about married life. "I had so many opportunities to learn and grow." See, I hate people who talk like that. No one talks like that. He'll probably be like, "Yeah, I like her. She's great. That's good." Right? She grow. Uh, oh, just shut up. That kind of talk. I don't think that your whole shit will last. It seems sort of hallmarky and insincere. A Ukrainian mother flees the war, leaving part of her heart behind. Who she leave behind? Dead man found bound and handcuffed in Woodland Hills Hotel. Oh, maybe after some kinkiness and he died of a heart attack and the other guy just left him there. I'm assuming it's the guy. It could have been the other girl. Or it could have been straight murder, but why would you take him to why would you check into the hotel to murder him there? I got all kind of questions about that. The first one sounds more plausible than the second. And I didn't even read the article. I'm just solving shit left and right with no evidence. I'm a mess. Ukrainian born businessman wants to aid war relief effort in lieu of U.S. prison time. Yeah, you're not going to cut a deal because you're a rich foreign business. And what is he in trouble for? New York, Reuters. A Ukrainian born U.S. businessman convicted last year of campaign finance violations alongside former associate of Rudy Giuliani is seeking to help relief efforts for the war in Ukraine as an alternative to prison, according to filing shown on Monday. Prosecutors are seeking a sentence between 51 and 63 months for Audrey Kukushkin, a California-based businessman found guilty of helping funnel money from a Russian billionaire to U.S. political candidates who could help a fledgling cannabis company he was building with Lev Parnas, the Giuliani associate. So Lev Parnas is a Russian dude, and he's in American politics with Russian money that you're not supposed to have. And this foreign Ukrainian was fine to be in bed with him. America lets anybody. Oh my God! Just send them straight to fucking jail, please. Thank you. Do not pass go. No, we don't need your help to fix the Ukraine anything. Do your what is it? 51 to 63 months. Let's do the math on that. 51 months is a little shy of 6 years. 51 divided by 12.
It's 54.25.
So that's 5.4 years. 61 months. Did I do that right? 61 divided by 12.
The answer is approximately
Okay,
5.0833.
that's better. Um, it's about it's 5 years or so. 51 to 63 months. Helping funnel money. Getting foreign money in American politics. Who's the politician he was helping? This is the problem. Then when they found out, they go, "Oh, I gave the money back or I donated to charity," and they don't do that. It's so. I mean, they just allow so much corruption. In a letter on Monday, Kluger attorney George left court asked U.S. District Judge Paul Otkin, Oetken, Otkin, to consider a community service and counseling program as an alternative to prison for Kushnikish. Leftists said the plan was developed by Aleph Institute, a Jewish nonprofit working with Kushkin. Send his ass to jail. He's giving everybody money to talk pretty nice for him. Pete Alonso of the Mets walk away from Florida car accident. His car rolled over 3 times after getting hit in the side. Wow. Prosecutors asked judge to detain ex-Power Board chairman Tario. First of all, he's a government spy, and he's still the head of your organization. Good lord, I don't even understand what's going on over there. Proud Boys leader Enrique Torrio leaves the D.C. Central Detention Facility where he has been held since September 2021 in Washington, U.S. January 14, 2022. All right, so he was held since September 2021 to January 14, 2022. So that was 5 months, 4 months. Federal prosecutors on Tuesday will ask a judge to detain him, essentially rearrest him, and for trial. Proud Boy Chairman Enrico Tarrio pending trial on conspiracy charge for his alleged role in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots, saying that they had compelling evidence, quote unquote, compelling, end quote, evidence. No, that's not the way that works either. They said they had, quote, compelling evidence, end quote, know how quotes work, first of all, end quote, of his guilt and fear he may try to flee or obstruct justice. Who's going to obstruct justice with? If you know he's going to do that, let him do it, then arrest him for it, and then throw the book at him. But if you think he's going to flee, where's he fleeing to? Where's he? Where would he go? Does he have a house in Spain or some other? I mean, in 21-page court filing on Monday, the Justice Department said it had damning encrypted messages exchanged between Tario and other Proud Boys who were invited to participate in a new chapter created in December 2020 called the Ministry of Self Defense on MOSD. MOSD, they said, was described by Tario as a quote, national rally planning, quote, chapter. Several of his hand selected members of are facing charges as co-defendants in the case after they breached the Capitol grounds and tussled with police. Oh, dudes are doing about to do so much time. In an encrypted chat group for MOSD, one member told the other it was time to stack the bodies in front of the Capitol. Wow. Prosecutors said Tario 38 is one of the most high profile of the 775 people criminally charged for their role in the attack on the Capitol by supporters of then President Donald Trump. In an effort to keep Congress from certifying Joe Biden's election victory. Do we even want to finish these last two chapters? He's doing he's due to appear before a U.S. magistrate in federal court in Miami on Tuesday for his detention hearing, but his trial will be handled out of D.C. All right, so he went back to Florida, um, and he goes to that. All right, and they're saying he's not when they have this trial, he's not going to be the trial is not going to be in D.C. I guess they don't want him back in D.C. The trial is not going to be in DC, which makes it good for him, right? It'll be in his home state versus having to travel all the way to Washington D.C. Right? And you missed that one. I dare you. Um, Ty was on the Capitol ground. Ty was not on the Capitol grounds on the day of the riot. Police arrested him on January 4th, 2021, for burning a Black Lives Matter banner at a historic African American church in December 2020, a charge for which he later served 4 months in jail. But prosecutors said Terry will still maintain an active leadership role behind the scenes. On January 6th, forcefully telling his followers on social media not to leave the Capitol, and later in the encrypted chat telling them, "We did this." After the attack on the Capitol, they said Terrio took steps to prevent law enforcement from accessing encrypted messages on his phone and encouraged other Proud Boys not to cooperate with police. That right there is witness tampering. Destroying that right there is witness tampering and destroying evidence if I've ever heard of it. Uh, but I'm not a lawyer, so that's what I say. That's what everyone would say. Um, all right. So what do we got in the chat? Billionaire banker's son killed by boat motor blade after jumping in to save fiance. That sounds grisly. Ugh. Ugh. Guess there won't be a wedding. See, women, men will jump in to save you and die doing it. Wow, that's horrible. And here comes the post. The son of a billionaire banker was killed by a boat propeller while desperately trying to save his fiancee. Juan Carlos, hold it. Juan Carlos Escotet Olivares jumped from his boat off the coast of Key Largo, Florida. This happened here to rescue his fiancee who had fallen overboard. Ugh, I mean, seriously. Oh my God. I don't even know what to tell you. Should I even read the story? I don't even want to read the story. Ugh. All right. The son of a billion banker was killed by a boat propeller while desperately trying to save his fiancee during the Florida Keys fishing competition. Juan Carlos Escotet Alvarez, the 31-year-old son of Venezuela-born Banesco President John Carlos Escotet Rodriguez, died Saturday afternoon after jumping into the water about 6 miles off North Key Largo as he and fiancee Andrea Montero, 30, tried to snag sailfish from a 60-foot boat. Look, I generally have this position on this kind of shit. He died doing a heroic thing, trying to save his girl. But this is a death by misadventure, right? We're off on vacation, sailboat, chilling, billionaire style. It's like when Superman Christopher Reeve fell off his horse at his horse riding competition. Well, only the uber rich do that. Then he fell off and broke his neck, and I was always like, fuck. I mean, it sucks, yeah, but and people are like, oh, Christopher Reeve, and I was like, I get that sentiment, I do, but my personalness is like, I would rather have that feeling for that guy who did it, like died, like was got that way in a war in Iraq or something, or somebody who sadly was a great musician and then something bad happened to them, or a great athlete, and I'm like, man, but when you're just lounging doing something goofy that rich people do, and it comes back to bite you somehow, I personally generally, and I think this is I know I should have sympathy for everybody, but this is a very sort of one of my shortcomings. I'm just generally like, eh. Like if I heard that, oh my god, he died in a yacht fire, I'd be like, oh man, God, that's horrible. I mean, dying in the fire is horrible, but yeah. They'd be like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah, it's bad, it's sad. But I wouldn't be like, oh, bro, dude. And that had nothing to do with this guy. I'm sure he was a nice dude. That's why I know it's me. But I'm generally like, yeah. The pair were taking part in a fishing tournament organized by the Ocean Reef Club of Key Largo. The FWC reported did not cite Montero's condition and call uh, the reported the FWC report did not cite Montero's condition and call seeking additional comments from agency was not immediately returned. What did they say that? But hit the vehicle's propeller immediately and died from his injuries. He dove into the fucking propeller. Oh my god, people are ridiculous. Ugh. I feel bad for the family. He seemed like a nice young man. Um, yeah, that's horrible. You don't know if she survived? Whoa. Oh my god, did she survive? Uh, Billionaire Ray Diallo's son dies in Connecticut car crash 12/19/2020. Lord, there's a lot of this going around. Harry Brandt, son of Stephanie Seymour and Pete Brandt, has died at 24. Son of billionaire and supermodel. There's a lot of them. That's like three this year. Three since January. Good Lord. Um, let's look at this thing. Good sweet Jeebus. The son about when he jumped in the water after his fiance. It says he died after jumping to save her. It never mentions her. She fell in, was struck by and died immediately after and died immediately after entering the water. He must have jumped in head first. How do you jump in and hit the propeller? Doesn't make any sense. If she fell in backwards where the propeller is, how come she didn't get sucked in? And how does he jump in into the propeller? It's a That's like that woman who walked into the airplane propeller. She got up and walked around the wrong side of the plane and walked into the prop propellers, and I was like, "Oh, that's brutal." But yeah, I can see how that happens. And it was night too, and she was obviously drunk and not paying attention. I mean, no, I can't say that, but it seemed like that's likely what happened. Like a joy flight, and then that horrible thing happened, changed your life in an instant. This this seems weird to me. How do you jump? Who's jumping into propellers? If I'm in a boat, whichever way I jump in that boat is away from the propeller. How big a boat was this? 60-foot vessel. Let's see what 60. Ooh, that looks pretty fucking big. Um, oh my god. Okay, so these propellers are like this, right? They move 70 tons of boat. So wow. Look how big these things are. He got hit. So he must have jumped off the tail end of this thing. This doesn't make any sense. How do you jump into propellers? Here, oh good lord. Can we get a nice this is a fairly decent shot. I don't see how you jump into propellers. 60 feet. How do you jump into propellers? This story sounds crazy to me. As a fish, South died after jumping into the water after his fiance fell into the ocean from their 60-foot vessel as they fished for sailfish about 60 miles east of Ocean Reef Club in North Key Largo. The FU said in the Sunday incident report that Mr. Alvarez was struck by the propeller and died immediately after entering the water. You ever do any fishing? Why is the boat moving if you're fishing? Boats are never moving if you're fishing. This whole thing doesn't sound right to me. Um, the boats are stationary, the engine's off, the propellers aren't turning. You're fishing. Maybe they were standing there, someone started it up, and they jerked it, but you would still know that it's starting up. And then if she fell in because it lurched forward, you would dive in after her. You would still be away from the props. I don't understand what is going on here. Um, the said in the same incident was struck by the propeller and died immediately after entering the water. He was taken. He was taking part in a fishing competition alongside with his partner, 30-year-old Andrea Montero. The report from the FWC didn't include information regarding the well-being of Miss Montero. Ocean Reef, an exclusive gated community, was also in the news last week when 356 migrants from Haiti arrived in a large wooden boat just 200 yards away from the property. It was one of the largest migratory events in recent South Florida history. They don't even tell you that. I mean, I didn't even know that. Venezuela newspaper El Niaso reported that Mr. Alvarez was the son of billionaire Juan Carlos. He is the president of the Venezuelan bank and Spanish bank Abanca. He's the president of two banks. He's also served as vice chairman on the board of Banesco USA, the U.S. division of the bank. His late son served as the director of the division. The company's website said, "Oh, he got a cushy dad job." Adding that he also was the director of Banesco International Corporation. The website said he had a vast experience in real estate development in Miami area, and that he was a graduate of university. This is the shit that pisses me off. Doesn't even live here. He can come make all this money in America, and America kills off the promise of his own citizens. Why isn't his ass in Venezuela? And by the way, We have problems with Venezuela. Why are they here? Man, don't make any sense. This government does not make, like I said, the amount of fuckery going on, the amount of people who are just treasonous and traitorous who work in our government, it ain't small, baby. Um, that's sorry. I mean, I feel bad for the dude and his family, but at the same time, none of this makes any sense to me. It all seems weird. Uh, it doesn't. We can't find if she survived, but for all we know, she was a CIA government psyops plant who killed him, right? And that's the cover story, right? No mention of her. Some stock footage of a nondescript blonde, right? And then poof, she's back to her redhead or brunette or off in the wind, looking like a demure librarian, all zipped up with round glasses and a hair in a bun. And then she'll get another call to meet another billionaire son. And then she'll be all femme fatale out, or sex pot and dangerous, right? I don't know. That whole story seems weird to me, but what the fuck do I know? But let's get at it. All right, I think oh man, we are about to end the show. We've got 6 minutes. This Ukraine stuff is crazy. And like I said, if China comes in, that's all sorts of problematic. But it still looks, on the bright side, it looks like we're gonna have baseball April 7th. Did they change it? I didn't look. They want look. I think there was so much bad press about baseball going on strike. People were like, "F you people," and they were like, "Yeah, maybe we should calm this down and do something else." Um, I wonder if she survived. Hawaii murder suspect allegedly killed man after learning he had HIV, then lived out victim's luxury home. So he killed the guy after learning the guy had HIV, or did he kill the guy after learning he had HIV? People are fucking ridiculous. There's a lot of sexism going on here, but it's at men. Here's what a nation of women look like. What's her name said that women don't start wars. The woman from Facebook. This is all the kind of shit where you just can't go, woman, what are you, an idiot? Right? Because you're a billionaire, you want to ask for money, so you just go, oh, girlfriend, right? What are you talking about? I'm thinking of what's her name, who was the first premier of Israel. Wasn't she was dropping bombs on people? Right? Margaret Thatcher dropped bombs on people. Premier of president of not president, prime minister of England, right? Better watch it. Hillary Clinton couldn't wait to drop a bomb on somebody. You know it. So I mean, what is everybody talking about? Stop being sexist. Just because women aren't doesn't mean like the utopia is going to show up here. Go to my ear. Yeah, thank you. What did I say? Yeah, but go to my ear. Yeah, she was at war with the freaking all of the Middle East. So this idea is ridiculous. It's like saying all women love children. There are women in jail right now for freaking killing their kids, right? Um, it is what it is. I mean, it's nice to romanticize some things, and I do that with my family. I romanticize because I love my family, right? But it's also makes sense to have a square head in your shoulders about things too. Would not to romanticize it, right? Yeah, women will say, "Okay, bomb him just as fast as somebody." Look, listen, there are women heads. So, right now, the head of the CIA is a lady. I'm pretty sure she's wiping motherfuckers out like over tea. Like this is a James Bond movie. So don't act like she's like, oh, maybe we can bring him in and maybe we can talk to him. No, ma'am. The idea that should be insulting to Lady government bureaucrat directors who run like shit themselves. I'm sure they were like, "This is what's going on, ma'am." She was like, "Cause she's got 30 years in the CIA." I'm sure she's like, "To XYZ," and they're gonna be like, "Yes, ma'am," and off they go because they've done XYZ 1,000 times before under some other different director, and it's policy, and she knows what the American policy is to deal with whatever the problems are. Why would she not? Why would she all of a sudden get there and then be a lady about it and not do what? That just means maybe we shouldn't have ladies doing anything, right? We have an established rule of doing shit. We don't need you to go. I'm gonna give the code to the secret weapons way so we can all be on the same page. Nobody wants that, right? I mean, that's romanticizing shit. And if it's going to be that squishy, people are going to be like, she's not serious. She can't run right. But so at the same time, then that person will have to be like, oh, to prove that I am not some weak woman, I have to bomb somebody, right? So just stop with all that. Just if we get a lady president, just hope that she's smart and not what I have to do what the boys do, because that's just a standard that's ridiculous. Because the boys have been fucking it up. I'm pretty sure ladies can fuck it up too. Ugh. Or should I have said, "What sisters are doing it for themselves, and they're going to be awesome. Go, girlfriends!" Look, women have been just as bad at every other job that men have had, and vice versa. Should women get that chance? Absolutely. So I can say this more. I can have more examples of it. And every now and then you'll get somebody great at it, just like the men. Every now and then you get somebody great at it, but usually you just get fuckery. I mean, I don't see Nancy Pelosi fixing the world. Isn't she a lady and a mom and all that good stuff? She's just a standard nonsense politician. What is going on here? What is going on? All right. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. And what it is like I said, I think look, in all my years of reading newspapers every day and being obsessed with it, I think it all comes down to trying to get you to be emotionally attached to whatever they're telling you. Good or bad, I want you to hate this, and we have the solution for it, or I want you to love this, and we bring it to you, kind of thing, right? It's carrot and stick, right? In this energy. It's like it's if for your convenience, there's always a car accident to watch. Oh, look at that lady who just got run over by a bus. Oh, look at that guy. He just got run over by a horse and buggy. Oh, look at that guy. He just got hit by a bike. Right? It's always something that you go versus because when all that stops, you go, oh, whew, what a day. Okay, now that everything is calm and low, what's going on in the world? Wait, what? We're at war again? Why are we at? Oh, wait, here's so and so getting out of a car showing her juju, right? And by the way, no one talks about how creepy that whole episode was, right? Young Hollywood starlets out on the town without panties, and all these grown ass men taking their pictures from low angles. No one said man, see, and I like ladies. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Fox News and their low cut camera angles with all the women who wear skirts this short, and then 10 years later, everybody's talking about "Oh, they sexually harassed me at work," and I was like, man, y'all are crazy. All right. It's this idea of I'm an innocent party and I don't know how the world works. Where? And you're just kind of like, no, you got caught playing the game. And then they opted for somebody else up the ladder, and now you get to sue. I think that's a lot of it. I think that's a lot of it. You watch. There's going to be a refraction. Someone's going to get fired for dallying at work, and then they're going to say, "We're in love and we should be able to date at work." And then they're going to rechange the rules. It is what it is, man. We've seen it all before. There is nothing new under the sun. You are not going to stop people from dating at work. You're not going to stop people from falling in love at work. And people will always try and work the angle. And some people are immoral and they'll sleep with everybody. And some people are stupid. They'll sleep with everybody, right? Uh, there's always more than one reason to do something, right? So that something is. There's always more than one reason why something is done. So some people may just fuck everybody at work because they got poor impulse control and they're crazy and they're just like that kind of way. Other people are more. Well, I'll go from this guy to this guy and this guy to this guy. Oh, look, I'm going to marry this guy and he's the head of the bank, right? While other people just fall in love in the steno pool and date and get married. And now you got three types of people who have relationships at work and they're not all the same, right? And when it goes bad, some people are calculating and I think companies have the right to go, all right, you know what, we try and mind our business, but now we're being sued for this stuff. This is now the new dating policy at work, right? That's why they fired that guy saying that he had to disclose at that level that he was having sex with his number two. No, she would be his number one. He was number one and she was his number one. So she was number two in the organization, but she was his number one. Yeah, I'd say she was. Baby, you my number one. Yeah, at work too. I'm sure that did not affect anybody's judgment at all. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Whole thing. And it keeps happening. It happened at NBC. It happened at CBS. It happened at ABC. It happened at Fox. It happened at MSNBC. It happened at CNN. What is the culture of those people telling you to be moral and how they stand for all this stuff? Do you find out that they're all just ridiculous? Oh man. All right. Before we end this thing, let's talk about Brittany Griner or Grinner. What is it? Grinner? Griner? What did I say when this whole thing happened? That she's gonna be there for like 10 years, right? This is a war. They're holding two other people, two other Americans, two Marines. They were holding them when you went there for money, right? And then I saw this thing where they were like, well, she wouldn't have to go there if the WNBA. And I was like, oh, now you're gonna make this about sexism and money. Because her salary is $270,000, and she's the premier number one so and so, and she only makes LeBron James, her male equivalent, makes. And I was like, how many T-shirts does she sell? How much revenue does the WNBA bring in as a whole? Right? How much does her team bring in? She's the most popular player. You know what that's like saying? That's like saying that dude should be rich. He's the most popular cricket player in America. We don't fuck with cricket here. Not our fault, right? Go where the cricket players are and be legendary. So immigrated from Wisconsin, went to England or India or Australia, became a cricket guy, makes $80 million a year to play cricket. He does infomercials on drinks and soft drinks and T-shirts. The kids love him. Nobody knew who the fuck David Beckham was here till they tried to bring soccer here and went on this blitz of, oh, look at how bend it like Beckham. Oh, there's a movie about it, right? It was this whole push about him, and it wasn't so much for him. It was about soccer, and he was the face of soccer. Just like when they tried to bring basketball to America, and Michael Jordan was the face of basketball. He was playing in Germany and England, right? And they didn't really take, but he was a guy. He made a ton of money attempting it, though. What do you want me to tell you? Um, she's looking to sit her ass in a Russian box for about 10 years because she's greedy and she's stupid. Why would you go there? They were holding two Americans. And other people who told you that was a good idea, you weren't even smart enough to go, well, nah, I'm gonna go play in Greece. But you know what? Greece is on fire. Greece has economic and COVID issues. I want to go to but you go to our enemy, right? Who does sketchy shit like this? Like people who go to China and North Korea are also playing this stupid game, but they all can't go. But she's the premier. She could have went, but they offered her more. They offered her 1 million. Everybody else was so she should have took a pay cut and went to. She's about to sit in a Russian prison for like the duration of this war and after. They had, like I said, when she landed, they had 2 Americans. I think this is her and her people's fault because the people like, yeah, go to Russia. They're all sitting at their homes, and then they're like, ooh, now we got to call some people to get her out. At first, they kept her there a secret because the war kicked off, and they wanted to keep it a secret in the hope that someone in the background could kind of like get her out as there's a war going on, and they couldn't get the other 2 military people out. And then America said, we're gonna fund all these people and help them bomb the Russians, and you're sitting there in a cell like, oh yeah, and by the way, we're gonna let her out while she's about to do a lot of time in the Mexican in a Russian gulag. Didn't need to happen. People are ridiculous. I don't even. I mean, this is this is what passes for intelligence. This kind of thinking. If North Korea was like, come over here and make $1 million a year, you'd be crazy to go. You'd be crazy to go. We found heroin in your bag. You'd be like, I didn't. Yeah, your word against the state of whatever. And there could be nothing there. There could be heroin there. Well, not me, but there could be nothing there, and there will be nothing there. Or they could say that you were trafficking in ancient uh, Egyptian artifacts. The thing is, we have you, and we have a charge against you, and you're going nowhere. Because fuck Americans. Why would you go there? I have people who go to Mexico. I'm like, why would you go there? Mexico, sad to say, is a failed state. I mean, you have pockets where you can go visit. Why would you go fund somebody's misery? I don't even know. People don't make any sense. All right, that's it for me. Wow. All right, so that's a good one. Before that, so Tom Brady is coming back. He's been retired for like 4 weeks. Um, at this point, man, just stop retiring. But he's gonna take a hit, and that's gonna be the end of it. Uh, I still feel weird about this. I'm telling you, man, something's gonna happen this month. Um, something's gonna happen this month. Beware the odds of March, baby. So again, I want to apologize for not being here this weekend, but I really need the time off. Didn't expect it to happen, but it happened. So to make up for that, we will be streaming all this week. We won't take Thursday off. We will cruise straight through Sunday, and then we'll take Monday off. Uh, oil prices are through the roof. It's ridiculous. Um, yeah, what happens now? You said this is your you said this is your final ball, and I auctioned it off for $1 million. But hold it, wait, was it auctioned off for $1 million? I thought they gave that guy a Bitcoin, and everybody was like, "What a raw rip!" Now I gotta look up that Tom Brady. um, Sells for over $580,000 at auction. Okay, hold it. I thought they gave a guy a Bitcoin for this. Right before QB returned 1 hour ago. All right, we're gonna click that. Um, I want to know, but ESPN 1 day ago, because you gave a guy a Bitcoin, and I thought it was like for like Brady. A total of 22 people bid Brady's ball. Brady's first career pass. Member of the Brady was induction in the Hall of Fame. Evans Brady a total Brady is still on Huh. All right. Where can I get the? Am I gonna have to go to Wikipedia? I don't want to go to Wikipedia. Tom Brady. That's the guy who bought Tom Brady's final touchdown ball for 500 last night. Must be sick after Brady announces his return. Tom Brady's last touchdown ball auctioned at 500,000. Wait, hold on. Right, because oh man, they gave that dude like $30, and then they gave the Brady. So then Brady sold it to somebody. Wait, oh man, this is a mess. Yeah, all right, we're not gonna find out. Because that it's a rabbit hole. Tom Brady's last touchdown ball sold for over 500K right before the QB returned. One of the worst, one of the worst beats in memorabilia collecting history took place over the weekend. One of the worst beat. Oh, one of the, like a okay, like take a breath, like it's a beat. One of the worst beats in memorabilia collecting history took place. It's like okay, I see what he said. Okay, right before Tom Brady, unretired and undisclosed collector, purchased the ball from Brady's final touchdown pass for $518,628. The ball in question came from Brady's 65-yard touchdown pass to Mike Evans in the Buccaneers' loss to the Rams in the second round of the NFL playoffs. There were 23 different bids for the ball, which in all likelihood will not be the final touchdown pass thrown by Brady in his career. The silver lining for the collector here is that the bidding on the final football only reached about half of the auction's house estimates. Oh, they were expecting to go for $1 million, and it didn't. Jordan Gilroy, the director of acquisition at auction site Leland, told USA Today that he thought the ball would fetch $1 million. You should be fired. You were super wrong and went for half what you said. You're fired. The collector had to have known that it was a risk that Brady will ultimately unretire. The collectors had to have known. Really? They had to have known that? Oh, I sense a lawsuit. Who says they had to have known that? No, you said this was his final touchdown pass, and it is not. I'm going to sue you on behalf of the inevitable happening. And the judge will go, you can't sue ahead of something that hasn't happened. And then bam, this September, when it's football season start, this September, when is preseason? Pre-game is August, right? Yeah, this September, yeah, yeah. Am I right? When is football season? We're just talking about trying to get into uh baseball season. April 7th. When does football season? When is when does football season start?
The last NFL regular season went from September 9th, 2021 through January 9th, 2020.
All right, they said September 9th. So yeah, like I said, September. Um, Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lawsuit because I'm sitting here thinking, how long can he wait to sue for this thing? He probably asked for his money back. They negotiating. He's like, "This is bullshit. You said it was his last touchdown." They're saying, "Sir, it is his last touchdown." No, he's not. It's not his last touchdown because he's not retired. Well, sir, this is the last touchdown pass that he do. That you no. You said his last touchdown pass, and he's gonna throw in this. Well, sir, and then bam. As soon as you're gonna be watching that first game like this, and as soon as that's a handoff and a run, and that don't count. But as soon as he just tossed up, yep, get your lawyers up. Everybody's running at each other. Had they have known it was a risk, he would unretire. He began equivocating, and that ruling got a comeback almost a second he retired in the first place. That's true. That is freaking true. Oh my gosh. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I am grateful for you. I really am. Uh I look forward to these times together that we have where we just kicks it like homies does. I almost hit the end string button and not the oh, let's stop presenting on stream. And we'll do this, dismiss this. Whew. Yeah, that's a really good question. How did this ball end up at auction? How did the Tom Brady ball end up at auction? It was Brady announced on that he was coming out of brief retirement and SportsIllustrated.com. Are you going to do a whole piece on it? Because then you're going to tell me no, you're not. Buccaneers the Rangers had again one on the walk field goal. Brady announced retirement. Quinlan, the ball was. Okay. I think I'm thinking about the wrong ball. He threw this one to a player and the player kept it and it never went to a fan. So they never gave anybody Bitcoin for it. So it was okay. So this is not the ball I'm talking about. All right. That is it for us. What time is it? Whew. Okay, you got 20 minutes extra, baby. And we were on time. Hot damn. Uh remember Springer head fall back because it got me this weekend. I guess I needed it. And now I'm back. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, all ready to go. Golly willikers. Um uh have a good night, man. Thanks for coming through. I will see you definitely tomorrow. We're gonna do a full run through for the whole week. I need to come up with a way to name these shows. Ugh. Um, what can I tell you? I will see you guys tomorrow. I got love for you. Um, I gotta I'll step up my Twitch game. Here's the problem. What is Twitch for? I don't really know. To Twitch at people. Um, no, Twitch is to play games. What is Twitter for? To talk to people? To talk at people? I don't know. What is Facebook for? I'm not on Facebook. But what is Facebook for? I don't really know that anymore either. So YouTube, I think, is just for video content, and Twitch is for video content, and that's what I make video content. But I should really learn what Twitch, Twitter, how to use Twitter properly for this whole thing. Um, that too will happen eventually. But for right now, we give up the ghost. It is the end of the show. I want to thank everyone for coming through. I want to thank all the lurkers. Feel free to like and subscribe. I wish I had my like and subscribe placard. I don't even know what happened to it. Um, you know, I'm gonna attack this room right now. As a matter of fact, we will see you in the next one. Next one is tomorrow, 6:30. Be there and not be square. Be nice and round or oval or octangle or rectangle if you so desire. As long as you're there, we're going to be talking about the big issues that have nice, the big issues and current events, and we're going to solve them because that's what we do. And we ask questions like, why would you jump off a boat into a propeller unless you're jumping into another boat's propeller? And how does it get you and not her? If she's closer to where you do. None of this makes any sense. All right. We're gonna see you in the next one. The next one's tomorrow, 6:30. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you